culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Hey everybody, happy Friday, TGIF. The week is already over. It really feels like it completely flew by. I don't know if you guys have the same vibe or not. Let me know. Good morning to you, Ali, Monique, and everybody watching as well. How are you guys doing? Ali says, we're scheduling a meeting to make this live. Oh my God, you are amazing. I mean, Ali, you've been here from the very, very beginning. Thank you so much. Jaleesa's another one who is a true OG as well. And Ashley, shout out to you all. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I am so happy to be at Friday. Y'all, I had quite the night last night. Okay, truly. And I'm not even ready. Like, I haven't even processed it to be able to give you guys the full rundown on what went down. I think I'll just do a little bit of like an overview for my channel members a little bit later on, like, or tomorrow or something like that. But yeah, Lord, y'all, wow, the shock that I had last night. Ashley, every time I see your dog, I just want to squeeze it. It looks like those cute little marshmallows. It's so cute. What is your dog's name? I'm so happy you're out of the playback posse. Shem Jem is also here. Milan. Whoa! Guys, I knew that the title of this video would get you going. Can I ask you real quick, which one of y'all told me that there was a rumor that Jennifer Aniston was dating Barack Obama? When I was doing that other story and I was talking about how I feel like there's something going on between Barack and Michelle, I think they're off. Like, are they separating? Is something happening? Someone came here in the live chat and said, I think that, or I heard a rumor that Barack is dating Jennifer Aniston. And I said, take that back. Take that back. It can't be. Jen, of all people. I said she was a Meghan Markle hater. Remember? Do you remember that? I said, like, she is so, like, she's one of those covert yuck, I might believe you now. And I'm going to talk about why in today's morning report. Stay tuned for that, you guys. Stay tuned. It was you, Milan. It was you, Milan. I'm sorry I doubted you, girl. I'm sorry. I think I believe you now after the story that I just read. Oh, Alexandria, has anybody ever told you that you look like Elle Fanning? You look exactly like her. Let me put my picture back up. Wow, you could win a doppelganger competition. Wow. How beautiful. Nice to see you all, guys. If you enjoy the morning report, just as a reminder, we are live every single weekday at 10 a.m. discussing the day's hottest topics. So set a timer, whatever you need to do to make sure that you are always here at 10 a.m. One of our OGs, Ali, even missed a meeting for this, y'all. I'm not saying you should, but I am just loving how she is always here and on the dot. And I am glad to be getting you out of bed, Star. I missed you yesterday. I was like, where's my girl Star? Where's she at? And you know what? I feel you. I had a hard time this morning too, because my night last night was rough, y'all. I saw some things that I shouldn't have seen, and I'll just leave it there for the time being before we get into that again a little bit, at another time, maybe, next week or something like that, but certainly for my channel members, either tonight or tomorrow. Okay, you guys? Yes, this might be a storyline for the morning show. Oh, Lord. I hope it's all fake, guys. I am having a hard time imagining this. I really am. Girl, welcome to my channel membership. It is so nice to have you. I am looking forward to, sharing some scoop with you. And, yeah, we're going to get into some personal stuff really soon over there. And thank you so much for the super chat. Ashley, let me go ahead and give you the chinka. Thank you, girl. Okay, guys, let's get into today's stories. Star is feeling a certain kind of way. I'm feeling a certain kind of way today. And you know what that means? Let's get our minds off these sorts of things by focusing on some of like the crazy things that are going on in the world. Let's start off with this story that I thought would make you guys laugh. I don't know if Boss Lady's here, and we did have another Canadian in here as well. But this is a story coming out of Canada, y'all. So this is a little embarrassing for us. It is. Okay. So what you're seeing here is a still from a video that was captured in Alberta, Canada. And if you're Canadian or if you know anything about winters up there, you know this man is freezing. So this guy, he was in some sort of a bar fight, and then the fight made its way outside. And obviously, with it being winter and everything like that, there's snow, there's ice on the ground, and you slip and fall. Well, this guy, when he slipped and fell, he was wearing some baggy pants, no belt, and apparently no panties, or should I say boxers brief, no undergarments. And what you're seeing is the aftermath of that. He fell down on his stomach and he got his penis stuck to the icy sidewalk. Do you guys remember that Christmas movie? I think it's called The Christmas Movie, right? And the kid, like, he puts his tongue out on the pole and he gets stuck on the pole. That is what happened with this man, but with his little willy. And so they had to call the police to try and help free his peen, but they were pulling and everything. There's a whole video of this, you guys. They tried their very, very best, y'all. And it took a while, but they did eventually manage to free him. Not in time for it to be captured on video, but that is what wound up happening at the end, you guys. And I just cannot imagine. I hope that this is a lesson to him to first of all, wear some damn underwear. Second of all, have some decorum and stop fighting in public. Holy cow, that really, really made me laugh this morning. And Kate's a Canadian, an Ontario girly. Hey, Kate. I'm a fellow Ontario girly too. Shout out to Ottawa. Allie left a really, really funny comment here. She said, be a dick and get frosty. Yup, that's basically what it comes down to. Okay, you guys, like, be careful out there. You really never know. F around and find out, slide around and find out. I don't know. What is a way for this to be said? I'm sure that this is something, like, it's new news, right? It just dropped, but I think that this is going to go viral pretty soon. If it hasn't made its way to TikTok yet, it will very soon. And Cami, I'm so happy to have you here. I've been seeing you on my channel for ages too, so it's so nice. Thank you for all of your continued support. I really love recognizing you guys' faces and your names and everything like that. Now, yeah, so the movie was called A Christmas Movie. Shout out to you for that too, Theo. Now let's get into something else that's rather funny, okay? So John Legend, legendary singer, Grammy Award-winning singer, tried to do a good deed, but we all know how the saying goes, right? No good deed goes unpunished. So basically what happened, we all know that the LA fires have been ravaging homes, burning down homes across the city, and celebrities have been doing their very best to help out and whatnot, typically in the form of donations of either the monetary kind, clothing, toiletries, food, these sorts of things, right? And so John Legend decided to give back in a different way. So let me play a video and then share what people have been saying in the comment section about his choice of charity.
Maybe we should take it slow. Take it slow. Oh. This time we'll take it slow. Take it slow. Oh, this time we'll take it slow.
So there you have it, you guys. We saw John Legend singing for the firefighters. These, by the way, are not like just any firefighters, right? These are prisoners who are being forced to fight the fires for about $1 an hour. And a lot of celebrities are actually rising up to try and get them more pay, these sorts of things, right? And so John, to bring awareness to their cause, he decided to sing for them. I don't think there's anything wrong with this. What's wrong with it? A private John Legend concert? Listen, some people have their kids out there sucking D for John Legend tickets, right? Shout out to you, Wiggs Olsiak. But these firefighters got it for free. For free. But the general public was not too happy about it. Let's see what people had to say. First of all, let's do a little happy birthday to Nicole. Happy birthday to you, Nicole. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. What are you? You are a Capricorn. So shout out to you. I love a good Capricorn. You guys have a good head on your shoulders. So shout out to you, and shout out to all of the other Capricorns in the chat. So let's take a look at what some people had to say about John Legend's performance. Okay, the comment section on the Shade Room was ruthless. People said those men are exhausted, tired, hungry, and probably want to shower. They don't want to hear this, Arthur. John, please read the room. Someone else said, if I fought a fire, I don't put no singing brother in my face. Other comments read, this is so tone deaf, literally and figuratively. Get out of them people's face singing and ish. Someone else said, oh, out here serenading people doing life is crazy work. Someone else said, man, he really just sat there and played in their face for 20 seconds. Y'all are so mean. He gave them a concert. He sang one of his most iconic songs for these people to calm them and to have them feeling great after fighting a fire, and people are just not having it. Oh my God, I would burst out laughing at him singing a cappella. Jaleesa says, John, get the F out of here. So y'all aren't feeling it either. So I have a question for you guys. If you guys were not feeling John Legend's performance, what do you think he should have done in lieu of his impromptu concert? Monique would have fainted for embarrassment. Good morning, Stephanie. It is so nice to have you here. Oh my God, y'all. I can't. Ali says it's giving Imagine all the people. Do you remember when the pandemic happened and we had the lockdowns, and then all these rich people were singing, we're all, imagine all the people. Meanwhile, they're locked in these homes with spas, bowling alleys, cinemas, all sorts of things. It was, yeah, it is giving a little tone deaf, but he tried his best. He tried his best, y'all. Come on now. Come on now. We've got a super chat from Milan. Milan, what is this currency? Where are you from, girl? Thank you so much for the super chat. Wow, so cool. Thanks for being so fun to watch. Well, thank you for being so fun to chat with. You know, you've been here since the beginning as well, Milan, and I really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh my God. So, you know, these celebrities can't seem to catch a break these days, man. It is wild, y'all. It really, really is. Singing can't help people. John, grab a hose. I can't. I'm going to have to leave you guys on this because you guys are too damn much. The jokes are just hilarious. Now, let's talk about Prince Harry, shall we? Prince Harry has been fighting Murdoch, his papers, and his conglomerates for a very, very long time, and he won big. Murdoch's companies are not known to apologize, and, you know, he's got some very, very scandalous papers, right, including the U.S. Sun and whatnot, and Harry has been saying for a very long time that they were intrusive. They did a lot of illegal things, hacking, etc., in order to get information about him and his family, and that they had been stalking him ever since he was a literal child. So there was a settlement, a last-minute settlement. Rupert Murdoch's companies pushed for it. Harry wanted to go to trial, but they made him a really good offer. So he got a 8-figure settlement. So reports are saying it's north of $12 million. And then, of course, they're paying his legal bills as well. And Harry got the apology that he was looking for. And we're going to get into what that apology was as well. And on top of that, he is still pursuing them criminally. So people are saying, okay, he settled. Now it's all going to go away. No, him settling is just the beginning. Trust and believe that this is going to go further than that. And Harry and his legal team made that very clear outside of the courtroom when they were announcing his victory. Okay. His lawyer's name is David Sherborne, and this is what he had to say about the victory. And I quote, "In a monumental victory today, News UK have admitted that The Sun, the flagship title for Rupert Murdoch's UK media empire, has indeed engaged in illegal practices. This represents a vindication for the hundreds of other claimants who were strong-armed into settling without being able to get to the truth of what was done to them. After endless resistance, denials, and legal battles by newspapers, including spending more than £1 billion in payouts and in legal costs, as well as paying off those in the know, to prevent the full picture from coming out, News UK is finally held to account for its illegal actions and its blatant disregard for the law. It has also specifically admitted wrongdoing against Tom Watson and admitted unlawful acts by The Sun, as well as by News of the World, against Prince Harry. The truth is now that has now been exposed is that NGN unlawfully engaged in more than 100 private investigators over at least 16 years on more than 35,000 occasions. This happened as much at The Sun as it did at the News of the World, with the knowledge of all the editors and executives going to the very top of the company. Oh, Harry, kudos to you, because the way that these people continue to disparage him in the press, drag him, all sorts of things, smear his name, smear his wife, smear his family, his children, everything, in order to intimidate him, try to get him to back down, shame him, everything, right? He still persisted. There were about 100 other people, victims, who were part of this lawsuit as well, but they eventually dropped off one by one because either A, they didn't have the money to continue fighting, or B, they were intimidated. But Prince Harry saw this through to the very, very end. And so, he came out victorious, and I congratulate him. He got them to admit that what they did was illegal, and he still wants to pursue. This was civil, but now with the admission that they were engaging in illegal activity, he and his team are turning their sights towards criminal court. And I think that is going to be very, very explosive as well. So his lawyer, Mr. Sherburne, continued on to say, and I quote, "The rule of law must now run its full course. Prince Harry and Tom Watson join others in calling for the police and Parliament to investigate not only the unlawful activity now finally admitted, but the perjury and cover-ups along the way. It's clear now this has occurred throughout this process, including through sworn evidence in inquiries and court hearings, and in testimony to Parliament until today's final collapse of NGN's defense. Today, the lies are laid bare. Today, the cover-ups are exposed, and today proves that no one stands above the law. The time for accountability has arrived." So, and this is not the first time that Prince Harry has won a lawsuit against the press. Like he's been doing a pretty good job over the past couple of years of winning, and this is why they continue to smear him. They hate that he is fighting back. His brother, Prince William, was also a victim of hacking and all sorts of things, but he never wanted to pursue things legally. And this is something that Prince Harry spoke about in his debut memoir, The Spare. He said that Prince William was a victim and he settled, or the papers offered him, it was only £1 million, by the way. And he just decided to move on that way. But Prince Harry has a different kind of approach to all of this. He's got more of a fighting spirit. And so he said, no, like what they're doing is unjust and they need to pay for exactly what it is that they've done. I'm not going to sit here and accept it. And I really do applaud him for what it is that he did. It's not easy, right? When you are being attacked by people who shape people's perceptions of you and who have made it their mission to have people hate you and to see you as a bad person, when what they've done to you has been illegal and that they have victimized you since you were a child. The vitriol that he and Meghan get is just so sad and disgusting to see. And it's yeah. Anyway, listen, congratulations to you, Prince Harry. I'm glad that he got the money. And more importantly, I'm glad that he got the justice and he got an apology, not only for himself, but on behalf of his mother, Princess Diana, as well. And I think that the royal family was trying to distract from this by having Kate Middleton do some sort of pap stroll yesterday. And if you pay really close attention, you'll notice that they do this all the time. Anytime something is happening for Meghan or Harry, what happens? They trot out either William or Kate or the both of them. So for example, Meghan's Netflix show was supposed to premiere on the 14th of January, I believe it was. And then what did they do? On the 13th, Kate, who was absent for pretty much an entire year, she suddenly pops up, to do some sort of an engagement. And then the day after, so Kate was on the 13th. On the 15th, you've got William, who too was absent for pretty much an entire year. All of a sudden, he's ready to work too, right? It was very, very blatant. And then they go back into hiding. We get the news that Prince Harry won his groundbreaking lawsuit, what happens? Kate pops back up again. You know, they're always doing these little things that really, really show you that they truly are in bed with the toxic British press. Okay, you guys, and I find that to be very, very, very disappointing. And I love that, Petty LaBelle. I love that. Just like I love your username, and I have to tell you every single time you pop on up that it just tickles me, Miss Petty LaBelle. Right? Harry truly does fight for his people. He's a true man. His father and brother ain't crap. Whoop. Yup. We see way too much of the royals without them volunteering anywhere or earning their keep. Exactly. Exactly. Did I say inbred? Oops. I didn't even hear myself say that. My bad. It must have been a true Freudian slip because I don't even remember saying that. Oh, Lord, listen. I might need some water. Listen, I'm about to do my typical water break, okay? But on the flip side, what are we going to be talking about next? It is none other than A$AP Rocky and that entire situation. I have a headache just thinking about the mess that he's in. So real quick, okay, you guys, and I'm going to have your comments flow up as I, do the ad read. But how do you feel about A$AP Rocky? Do you think he'll be found guilty, not guilty? And if you think he'll be found guilty, about how much time do you think he's going to be facing in prison? Because he's currently facing 24. So how much time do you think he'll be sentenced to if you think he'll be found guilty? He was offered a plea deal of only 183 or 84 days in jail, and he refused it. The jury has been selected, and it doesn't look like it's going to be a jury that favors him at all. And the evidence is overwhelming. Right? And I've got a screenshot of some of that evidence as well. Then after that, we're going to talk, of course, about the Obama situation that you guys really, really want to get into. I'm still shook by it, and I really need to get you guys' perspective. Nikki Bella looks to be returning to the WWE. It was just announced that SZA is going to be joining Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl. And then Diddy actually had quite the big win in court as well. So all of that is coming. On the flip side, make sure to like the stream if you haven't already. And also don't forget to let me know how much time you think A$AP Rocky could potentially be sentenced to in his case. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Ruthia. Ruthia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. And we are back, you guys. Let's get into the A$AP Rocky of it all. I'm really looking forward to seeing what y'all had to say. And I know I said I would put some of those answers up a little bit earlier, but I had to run and grab some more water, y'all. I go through water like a damn fish, okay? So as some of you guys might know already, A$AP Rocky is currently facing gun charges. He allegedly pointed a gun at his friend in order to threaten his friend, and he obviously caught some charges for it, and they were doing some jury selection, and something that popped up while they were looking for people to serve on the jury were, of course, questions about A$AP celebrity, but also the celebrity of his girlfriend and baby mama, Rihanna. Okay. And so some of the questions that the jury was asked included if they've heard of A$AP or Rihanna, do they listen to their music, download any of their songs, have they ever bought any of Rihanna's products, clothing, makeup, anything like that. They also wanted to know if people could be intimidated or starstruck by the presence of Rihanna in the courtroom. So it seems like they really want to play that Rihanna card in order to try and get A$AP off on these charges, because she is a huge superstar and she has a lot more of, a family image, a clean image and everything like that. And so they're really, really trying to hope that rubs off on him, but I'm not so sure that it's going to work out. Do y'all think that she's going to be the secret weapon? I know that a little bit earlier, I think maybe a week or so ago, there was like this clip that went viral of them arguing in the courtroom about whether or not Rihanna is his wife. right? Because obviously, you know, with the wife versus baby mama or whatever, they have different connotations, even subconsciously in people's minds. You know, when you're a rapper and you've got a baby mama, it has a certain image. But if you're a rapper and you've got a wife, right, it's got a different image as well, and it's a more beneficial image to him. And so his team was trying to claim that he was married to Rihanna, despite that not being the case. But at the end of the day, when you're fighting in the court of law, legal terms matter. You cannot use wife, you cannot use husband if you are not legally husband and wife, right? They said that they're common law, but that's not true, right? In the state in which they live, common law doesn't exist. I believe the two of them live in California, and it doesn't recognize that. So that is something that did also pop up, but the judge said, well, that doesn't exist here. So what is it? Are they legally married or are they not, right? So yeah, all those sorts of questions are popping up. Rihanna is really being heavily implicated in this. And I got to be honest for you guys, I hate that for her. I think she could have done a lot better than A$AP Rocky, not just based off of him and these like gang banging problems or, you know, or the charges he's facing. But I just think him as a person, he's a very controversial person who's had a lot of very ignorant things over the years. And I just don't understand how she wound up with him, right? Like he's been very, very anti-Black, and Rihanna seems to be more on the pro-Black side. So I just don't get it. Do you remember A$AP Rocky when he was saying something about like, he doesn't like dark-skinned girls wearing red lipstick or something like that, which was the craziest thing ever. We look amazing in red lipstick. And then he also said something when the Ferguson riots and uprising were going. He said, well, you know, I can't relate to that. Those aren't my problems. I live in Beverly Hills, right? He turned his own back on his people and stuff like that. So it's very interesting that Rihanna would end up with a guy like that, but I digress. At the end of the day, the jury has ultimately been selected, and TMZ made it a really big point to like emphasize and talk about how nobody on the jury is Black. So the jury comprises of 7 women, 5 men, and they're saying that the jurors are white, Asian, and Hispanic. None of them are Black, and the judge is not Black either. I personally do not see this as a problem because A$AP Rocky is colorblind. He doesn't care about any of these things, right? He lives in Beverly Hills. He can relate to these people apparently or whatever. So those are a jury of his peers, contrary to what TMZ is saying. So good luck to him. I'm seeing you guys are a little bit split on what you think is going to happen with him. Some people said that he wanted he might get some probation. He might get a year or 2 or something like that. Some people are saying more. Very, very interesting. And so Ali's asking about the relationship status, why it matters. Stephanie raised a good point, which is that spouses cannot testify against each other. And, you know, it's just an overall image that they're trying to portray of him. They're trying to say that, you know, maybe this is in the past. He's changed. You know, he was in a bad place in his life. He's since married. He's got a family. He's got kids, this sort of a thing as well. So it was Malen that said that he's going to be getting probation because this is his first time offense. He's awesome. Don't worry. This is not politics. This is political dating. Don't worry, we're not going to get into the negative scandals of what is going on there with some of the uglier things that are happening in your neck of the woods. So good luck to you, A$AP. I heard that the trial starts today. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I will be updating you guys as more and more information comes out. Of course, we do the morning report. In case you're new here, we do this every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so anytime there's a little update, don't worry, we will be on it. Thank you so much, Star. And you know what? When he said this was when at the peak of Ruby Woo lipstick. Do you guys remember that era of MAC Cosmetics where Ruby Woo lipstick and heroin were all the rage, you know, especially like with the Black girls, like, and they were rocking it, killing it. He came out here completely unprovoked and said, well, I don't like Black, you know, dark-skinned Black women in red lipstick, you know, like, it's just this nasty stuff. It's just really, really nasty, right? It's like April and Jaleesa were saying about him being colorist. And Ronnie says he won't get any jail time. Stephanie says they're going to try to make an example out of him because of his status. So it really could go either way. I'm going to keep an eye on it, you guys. Don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to my channel and keep an eye out for the morning report. Okay, you guys? Now let's get into SZA. SZA's going to be performing at the Super Bowl alongside Kendrick Lamar. How do y'all feel about that? Did I ever tell y'all that I saw SZA live? I saw SZA live. Where was I? I was at Osheaga, I want to say. Yeah, it was at last year's Osheaga Festival. We were, of course, in Montreal. Shout out to you, boss lady. So we were in Montreal. She was performing, and I believe I've seen her somewhere else as well. Was it at Afro Nation somewhere? I think I might have seen her in Portugal as well. She's a pretty good performer, like nothing to write home about. And there was this kind of era. I remember specifically that she had performed with Kendrick Lamar, All the Stars, and her voice cracked. So I am a little bit nervous. I love her music. I think she's a great singer and everything like that. But I don't think that her voice is a guarantee. So I really, really hope that she's doing everything she can to make sure that it is in a, good state for the Super Bowl performance, because the Super Bowl performance is major. Drake is probably hiring the bots as we speak to trash any misstep in that performance. And so I really need them to be as on point as possible. And I just want it to go off without a hitch. So I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys are new to the Morning Report, or if you're not really into the blogs or anything like that, then you probably might not know this, but Drake has been fighting legally to try and block Kendrick Lamar from performing Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, right? And Not Like Us is that infamous song that Kendrick Lamar released in response to Drake in their rap battle. And so he accuses him of being a PDF file, associating with them, all sorts of just very, very nasty things. And, so of course, with that, he's been trying to block that performance in the Super Bowl. So he really, really is not looking forward to this at all, like Deborah says. And something else that's really, really funny about us now finding out that SZA is going to be performing with Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl is that it is the same day that this interview of her, Issa Rae, and Keke Palmer just dropped. And in the interview, you see Keke Palmer ask SZA if Drake was a good kisser. So it feels like there's a little bit of some kind of coordination going on there to really, really stick it to Drake. So I didn't even know this, but apparently they kissed back in the day, and they were super duper young when it happened. Ali says Drake will be drowning his sorrows out of the country. I wonder where he'll go. Maybe will he go to Dubai? Will he go to Thailand? Will he go to, I don't know, Brazil? I wonder where he'll go. Star says, I think that's corny that she's joining his Super Bowl. Love both of them, but I feel like they're just promoting their tour, doing the same routine. I feel you. And you know what else I think about Drake? Do you guys think he might drop like a single or something like that, just to like take some of the buzz away, or maybe, to profit off of some of the buzz, because the Super Bowl buzz is major. So I do think it would be kind of interesting for Drake to go ahead and drop a single, right? Because people are going to be looking to Drake. Every time we talk about the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl, we talk about Drake. So I feel like this would be kind of a good idea for him. What about you guys? Do you think it would be a good idea? Ramster says, hey, Grace. Hi, all. About H&M, I just got home. I don't believe Megan. She's lied before. He said some conflicting things, not some crazy about the firm, but Megan, nope. But what about the lawsuit that Harry won? I hope you at least support that, because they admitted that they were doing things illegally for several years, including 35,000 counts of stalking, pretty much. So you guys, I truly am looking forward to the Super Bowl. I'm so excited to do the recap with you guys as well, because I do think that it's going to be a great performance. I loved my favorite Kendrick Lamar performance, outside of Not Like Us, of course, was when he did the Grammys with Beyonce and they did Freedom together. I thought that was an absolutely incredible performance. And so I would love for the two of them to collaborate on a song again, and I would have loved for her to be like a guest again. I think she would set some sort of a record, because Beyonce has performed at the Super Bowl like 3 times now. So if she were to do it a 4th time, that would be some sort of record, right? Especially with her just doing her Beyonce Bowl recently on Christmas. Like, you go, girl. You go, girl. So we'll have to wait and see how all of this eventually ends up panning out, okay? Stephanie says, if Kendrick performs Not Like Us at the Super Bowl, it'll be the nail in the coffin for Drake's career. The entire crowd will be crip walking. And remember, the Super Bowl has a reach of about 500 million people. This would be the ultimate humiliation ritual. Lani says, I think Drake is tired. If he drops it, it might just reroute the attention back to Kendrick. I agree. There's nothing he can do now. He has truly painted himself in a corner. And now we're hearing that Drake and SZA apparently used to date. I didn't know that SZA was popular that young. Like, I thought she got famous like in her 20s or something like that. Now, y'all, are you ready to talk about the Obama situation? It was supposed to come later on, but I feel kind of antsy about it. Malen, are you still here? Because I have to give you a shout out again. You guys, Malen was the one who tipped me off to this. I think it was on Monday or Tuesday's episode of the Morning Report. I talked about how it looked like there's something going on between Barack and Michelle, how it's not looking good. She didn't attend Jimmy Carter's funeral with Barack. All the other first ladies did. And she didn't attend the inauguration with him. The other first ladies did, right? And we know she does not like Donald Trump, but that didn't stop her in the past, right? Like, as a first lady, unfortunately, even if you don't like the president, that, and the other, you're typically by the person's side. So it seemed like a big deal, right? And then the two of them, they did this lovey-dovey post for Michelle's birthday, but I'm still not convinced. It looks like they used an old photo to me. I'm pretty sure they used an old photo. And so Malen, who's still here, shout out to you, Malen. When we talked about this earlier on the week, she said, oh, well, I heard a rumor that Barack Obama and Jennifer Aniston are dating. I said, no, there's no way. There's no way. Please, please, please. Even if he and Michelle were to leave each other, okay, right? That happens in life. But Jennifer Aniston? And then today, what happens? I am just minding my own business, doing some research for the Morning Report. Okay. And one of the sources that I like to go to is In Touch magazine. And so I noticed, and one thing about In Touch people, whatnot, is that they're kind of like, they work with PR for celebrities, right? They're always doing very like fluff pieces. Like, you guys could really seed stories through these magazines, right? So if there's a certain story and it's a very fluffy story, it's because someone wanted it out there. So there's a story that I feel like Jennifer Aniston wanted to be out there to get back in our good graces. And let me tell you why. Jennifer Aniston has spent like the past several years liking a lot of anti-Meghan Markle content. Some of the stuff has even been like racially charged. Even there was one where, do you remember when the journalist compared Meghan and Harry's newborn child to a monkey or something like that, with like this image or whatever? There was like a meme of that or something like that. And Jennifer Aniston was liking that sort of content, right? So I haven't liked her since. I've never even seen anything this woman's been involved with, but I didn't like her based off that sort of thing. And so now all of a sudden, we're getting these fluff pieces about Jennifer Aniston, right? And it's true, honey. Rumors exist every day. But now we're getting fluff pieces in a magazine outlet that is famous for working with celebrities on fluff pieces when celebrities need these fluff pieces out there. So let's get into what the story says, okay? A source is telling us that Jen feels a lot of empathy for Meghan Markle. Jen knows what it's like to be in the public eye and under scrutiny. So she has a ton of empathy for Meghan and thinks the way she's been treated is pretty diabolical. The source went on to share that Aniston is impressed with her friend as she's shown such resilience, and she admires the ex-royal staying strong and sticking to her principles regardless of the microscope that she's been under. I don't know, you guys. It's crazy to me that Jennifer would go from liking all sorts of anti-Meghan content like it was her full-time job to all of a sudden sprinkling stories around claiming that she really likes Meghan Markle. And we know that Prince Harry, Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, they have a good relationship. And then when Meghan and Harry got married, they started having a good relationship, the four of them, right? So it's very, very interesting to me. Jennifer, she lost a lot of points with the Black community where she started doing that stuff that she's doing. And it seems now like she is trying to get back on our good side and to apologize for what she did in the past. And I just cannot think of another reason for her to do that if it wasn't for some sort of announcement happening in the future. And again, I really, really, really hope that this isn't true, because I love Barack and Michelle together. And I still don't like Jennifer despite this fluff piece. What do you guys think? Can you picture it? Can you picture it? Something about it is just so odd to me. Jennifer Aniston, really? Really? I just don't get it. I don't see it. I've never seen it for her. She's never been that girl to me. Melen, oh yeah, I remember this when she accused Jimmy Fox of being anti-Semitic, and it was over like the most random thing. It wasn't even anything anti-Semitic at all. And speaking of that, isn't it interesting how all these people who went after Jimmy Fox or who went after Kanye West, they have nothing to say when Elon Musk is out there doing Nazi salutes? Very, very interesting stuff, right? Disgusting. I didn't know she liked those types of tweets. They were Instagram posts. Obama dating this lady before he even gets a divorce. Let's pretend Obama and Michelle were separated. Good point. Good point. I just don't see him doing this, especially not with Jennifer. I could see him risking it all for a Halle Berry. I could see him risking it all for like a dime piece, someone where they're up on this, kind of pedestal or whatever. But I just can't see it with Jennifer Aniston. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't. Michelle wanted to avoid Trump. I believe that, but she left Barack looking like a lonely man. That should trump her dislike, which I don't believe, but okay for Trump. But skipping a memorial, shady. And wasn't Jimmy Carter one of the good ones? I heard he was one of the good ones. Wasn't he? I thought people liked this guy. I did feel bad when Jennifer, after the Brad and Angelina scandal. Right? I hope it's not true. Better not be true. Jennifer Aniston doesn't look like she's down with this swirl. It's true. Good point. Has she ever been linked to a black man or a biracial man or anything like that, Jennifer? I know that Barack has dated outside of his race in the past, but I don't know about Jennifer. And another thing that leads me to believe that there is trouble in paradise, or potentially between Barack and Michelle, is that Michelle has not really made it a secret that like Barack is not the easiest man to be married to, right? She said even early on, the first 10 years of the marriage were rough for her. By the way, shout out to ladies who are willing to suffer for a man. I'm not. I'm a one strike and you're done. Maybe two, if there's an extra connection there. Maybe three, if there's a double extra, but nothing more than that. I can't imagine being miserable in a marriage for 10 years. I could do 10 hours. No, I'm joking, but 10 years is a little bit excessive. When she was promoting her latest book, she kept on talking about how rough it was. And there were a lot of articles being written about this, right? Do you guys remember that? Like she was really, she was saying it's not easy, right? So maybe he's having a hard time adjusting to life after presidency or something like that. She, on the other hand, is thriving. She's continuing to tour, to launch books, all sorts of things, right? Not paid by anyone. I won't call anyone for falling in love with him. We're all in love with Barack, but the black magic of him and Michelle cannot die. They're such a beautiful couple. They really, really are, right? So I really would hope for this to not be true. But listen, stranger things have happened in life, and there are a few things in life more fickle than relationships, especially romantic relationships, right? So I would not put anything past anybody at this point. But I don't know, do any of you guys watch the Braxtons? Because the first thing that came to my mind when I heard this rumor was the adage that the Obamas always said. Their mom, Evelyn Braxton, always told them, all men cheat except Barack Obama. So I really, really hope that is still the case, right? I don't know. But here's the thing, y'all. It could be one of those we're separated in our private lives, but together in our public lives because we're a brand sort of deal, right? I could see that happening, but I don't know. Jennifer Aniston, I'm sorry, but she's just not that girl. I don't get it. I can't even hide the in my face. Like Jennifer Aniston, really? Not even a Demi Moore. Demi Moore, she is fine now. Like she looks beautiful, like a Demi Moore or something, Malen says, now Grace, he likes some Swedish like LeBron. Does he? Oh, Barack, you're killing me, y'all. You're killing me. I had no clue. I thought he liked them like everything. I didn't know because LeBron really, truly, I don't know. It's true, Steph. It's true. And, and it has to do with the thing that I'm going to be telling my channel members a little bit later about some stuff that I discovered yesterday. I said, I'm good on this. Like, I'm not going through nothing for a man. I can't, I value my single life so much. I really, really love it. So if someone starts acting up or this or that, like, cool. Thank you for sending me back to what I enjoy, which is, single living, right? Anyway, we're going to have to put a pin in that until more information comes out. Okay, you guys, please pray for the sanctity of Barack and Michelle's marriage. And for me and for my mother. My mom has a shrine to the Obamas. If you guys look at my Grace Report Instagram, the image is probably there, but like it's literal. One of their walls in like their dining room is a bunch of like Barack Obama photos. That she has a bunch of Barack Obama magazines and stuff like that. Michelle Obama. And then my Christmas gift to her on Christmas of 2018 was a meet and greet with Michelle Obama during her Becoming book tour. So like she loves them. their marriage, everything like that as well. Like, she's all about them. So this is going to be so devastating to her. Look at me holding back tears. Anyway, you guys, if you're enjoying the morning report, please make sure to go ahead and hit that thumbs up. And don't forget that we are live every single weekday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, covering the day's hottest stories. Now let's get into Nikki Bella. I really like Nikki Bella. I do. And let me tell you why. Growing up with two brothers, I have two brothers and one sister, right? And so growing up, and we're all pretty similar in age. It's 4-2-4. Yeah, 4-2-4-2 in terms of age gaps. So we're pretty similar in age and stuff and vibes and whatnot. And so we used to watch WWE together. And at the time, there were no Bella twins and whatnot. They came after we had already grown up and whatnot. But it was, it was always really cool. But like, I never really got the divas that much, like outside of their little cameos in the performances and whatnot. But when the Bella twins came out and when Tiffany came out, and I think the other girl's name was like Serenity or something like that, like it was really cool that they got this whole spin-off show and just really uplifted the diva community in the wrestling world. And just the whole twin of it all has always been really, really cool to me as well. I was devastated for her when I heard about the altercation that she had with her husband, or estranged husband now, Artem Chigbintsev. She has since moved out of the house. They are splitting custody of the child and everything like that. And if you guys were present for yesterday's morning report, you remember that I was talking about Ali Luber, James Kennedy's girlfriend situation, reminding me of Nikki's, which is that these girls, they fall victim to certain things, right? Altercations and whatnot. But like typical DV victims or alleged DV victims, they do not want to press charges. They just want for the relationship to be over and for them to move on with their lives, right? And then what happens when you do that and the charges are dropped? Because of your lack of cooperation, which is your right? The guys who are accused of being ABUSERSs, who very well may be, abusers and whatnot, they start bragging. You see, the charges are dropped. I'm innocent. I didn't do anything, that sort of thing, right? And so it always made me sad for her, because I do believe that is what happened to her. I believe everything she said about what went down with her and her husband. And I also believe that she just wanted for all of it to go away for the sake of her child and everything like that. And that is something that she made very clear in her statement. The reason why charges against Artem did not stick are because of her and not because of anything else, not because of innocence, X, Y, or Z, or anything like that. Okay, you guys. Shemton, I didn't know that the divorce was already finalized. Okay, thank you for the update. Thank God for her then. Thank God. So I don't know, someone a little bit earlier, I believe it was you, Ali. Can you confirm in the chat? Someone said a little bit earlier that her looking to return to WWE might mean she wants a Netflix check. I'm kind of thinking, does it mean that money isn't as good as she thought that it would be, like in her rebranded career and persona? Because Nikki and Brie Bella, they had the Bella twins spinoff after Total Divas spinoff. It was called Total Bellas, right? And they were the Bella twins always. And then they decided, hey, we want to leave WWE behind. We want to retire, and we now want to be known by our real last names, right? Which is Garcia. So they started calling themselves the Garcia twins. They didn't want to be called Brie Bella, Nikki Bella. They wanted to be called Nikki Garcia, Brie Garcia, right? And now all of a sudden, she popped up at some sort of WWE event at Raw, and she kind of hinted that she was scoping out the competition. So, she might be coming out of retirement. And sources are telling TMZ that seems to be the case. Apparently, there is no timeline for her returning to the WWE universe. But don't be surprised if the promotion doesn't drag its feet on making it a reality. Quote, in fact, Bella hinted at the possibility of herself, and we already talked about that. She said she was scouting new competition. And yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Are you looking forward to seeing Nikki Bella come back to the WWE universe? Do y'all even watch this stuff, by the way? Because I don't watch it anymore, but I love women in wrestling, and I root for women in wrestling, especially to be taken seriously, because before they were just there kind of like, to help excite like the incels of the viewers. I'm not saying all the male viewers are incels, but like the incel community there. They were there to like entertain that versus to be taken seriously as wrestlers, right? So if that's the case, and I'm rooting for her and I really hope it goes well. Kate says I have 3 brothers and we fought each other, right? You know, we used to do that too. Like sometimes you put out like a little thing out in the front yard and you be whooping each other's asses. Like that's what life was all about. And you know, speaking of that, Kate and everybody watching, but that's what made me sad when I did that story about Janelle Evans and her son going to the park and then getting mugged for $50 and beat up by the kids. I was like, wow, like I had no idea that kids today were not allowed outside, that they didn't play outside without supervision or anything like that. Like that's so crazy to me. It makes me so sad, you know, just thinking about how free and fun my own childhood was. Allie says not pressing charges when you have a child. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she says it's wild that she didn't press charges. But, you know, maybe it's because it's very difficult to prosecute these things, right? Very, very difficult. So she maybe didn't want to take the time away from her child to go through interviews and to be grilled and to be re-traumatized by the prosecution or defense or whatever. And so she just decided, let me just wash my hands of this. I don't know. Shem Jem says, Nikki's in one of my favorite shows, The Traitors, and they just banished her last. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Well, listen, I had no idea she was even on this season of The Traitors. I've only been hearing about Robin and Tom Sandoval and whatnot. I think Dorinda was also mentioned, but I had no idea she was on it. I didn't on the name. There you go. Thank you for that, Malen. And Shem Jem says, I don't know if it's about the check. Retired wrestlers come back a lot. The reason they were using Garcia is because Vince McMahon trademarked the name and wouldn't give it to them. Oh, come on. That guy is ruthless. Did you guys watch that documentary about the WWE universe on Netflix? Like, oh, he's got problems. I haven't even finished it yet. And I already am jaw like dropped at the first half that I watched. Another documentary that still has stunned me is the Jerry Springer one. Did you guys watch that on Netflix? I finished the first 2 episodes. I think there's only 1 episode left. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I was sitting at home watching that like as a child. Like granted, I knew I wasn't supposed to be watching it, right? You know, when you have the sick days, you watch The Price is Right and you watch Jerry Springer. Then later Steve Wilkos came out and you watch that. And then maybe you watch, what is that one? The Weakest Link. Those were on my rotations when I'd get sick. Okay. And so now, oh, I'm sorry, y'all, for the spoiler. I didn't read the comment in time before putting it up. Sorry, y'all. Spoiler alert. Yeah. Oh my God, y'all. I used to be into it. Remember, I have 2 brothers, y'all. I have 2 brothers. So I was into some of that rough and tough stuff. So, and you know, who were my faves at the time? I loved Big Show, Rey Mysterio. I loved Kane, The Undertaker. For some reason, I was attracted to The Undertaker. It's weird, okay? It's weird, I know. And Rey Mysterio as well. Eddie Guerrero. Oh, I was crying, sobbing when he passed away. Randy Orton was also really hot to me. Who's that guy? Roman Reigns. Beautiful. Tyson something, the bald, like, chocolate black guy. He was really hot too. Tyson as well. Like, oh, there were some good eye candy on that show. Really, really good eye candy. I loved it, y'all. I loved it. Now, let's get into the next story. We got to talk about Love is Blind. Right. Yesterday, we talked about how there is a new air date or release date for the 8th season of Love is Blind. It is going to be released on February 14th. We also talked about the Ashley and Tyler separation leading towards a divorce. And now we've got another update on some fellow castmates from season 7 of Love is Blind. And they are none other than Taylor and Garrett. And this tea kind of slipped under the radar, y'all. I'm not even finished with the interview. So they appeared on a podcast. Let me shout out that podcast real quick. Okay, you guys. The podcast is called Dear Shandy. And they talked a little bit about their relation. And I'm only maybe 10 minutes in. And they already dropped a little bit of a gem that I wanted to share with you guys. And it made me so happy, especially in light of how bad Love is Blind Germany was. Okay. So basically, the 2 of them announced that they decided to go ahead and hyphenate their last names. And I'm so thrilled for them on that front, right? Because you always hear this where the man automatically assumes, thanks to the patriarchy, that the woman is, you know, it's a given that the woman is going to go ahead and just change her last name, right? You know, you've changed over ownership. Come on now. Don't keep your last name. Don't keep your identity. Like they come in with that sort of a mentality. And that's something that we saw in Love is Blind Germany. Ilias and Alina, spoiler, sorry, y'all. But it's over. It's been over for a while. I'm sorry, y'all, but okay, we'll talk about a couple, right? Elias and Alina. Alina is really, really attached to her last name, and she let it be known while she was dating Elias, but he said, no, you have to change your last name. And she asked, why? What difference does it make to you if I change my last name? And he's like, well, it's just tradition in my family, right? And so it was one of those sorts of things. So it's really, really nice to see that here in Love is Blind, Taylor and Garrett, they both had that discussion. Listen, when you're an adult, right? Like, it's so different. Maybe when you're a lot younger, but when you come into a marriage and you're already a fully grown and established adult, it's a lot harder for you to just be like, okay, I'm going to go, throw away my last name or change out my last name or anything like that, right? And so you would think that more of the men would be understanding towards this, but unfortunately they're not. So anytime I see something like this, where the guy not only allows for, quote unquote, allows for the woman to hyphenate her last name, but he goes ahead and hyphenates his own last name as well, I think that is absolutely incredible. So kudos to Garrett on this. And of course, kudos to Taylor. And it's like, it's the bare minimum, right? But unfortunately, we don't even get the bare minimum like that, y'all. Okay. And I saw this comment earlier from East Awesome. East Awesome, what episode does this come in? Because I'm scared. I'm only like 30 minutes into the documentary. I had no idea it was going to lead to that. Okay, y'all. And Shimjin apologizes for the traitors. Spoiler, y'all, don't kill her. So what did you guys think about that? Garrett and Taylor going ahead and hyphenating their last names. I'm really happy about that. Not only the fact that she's hyphenating hers, but like that he's joining her in that. They're both doing it together, which I thought is absolutely incredible. Okay, you guys, I'm going to catch up with some of your comments here. She Doesn't Care says that Nikki can't handle the new girls. Oh my God. Ray's still wrestling. How old is that man? Is he not like in his 40s at this point? Undertaker is fine. Okay, thank you guys, because I was scared I'd be judged. Roman Reigns, gorgeous. Batista, for me, he doesn't do it for me. I'm sorry, especially in that movie I watched him in. He did this really weird movie that I watched in theaters maybe 2 years ago. And I was like, okay. It was about like the Misfits. It was some kind of like creepy, horror-ish type of thing that wasn't too scary. It was like suspenseful, but I just was not. Yeah. And Eddie Guerrero was so funny. I loved his persona and everything, y'all. It was amazing. So I'm seeing you guys are saying you're not really into Love is Blind anymore, which doesn't surprise me, because whenever I do my recaps about Love is Blind, a lot of people say, you know what? It lost the spark. That show was created for Lauren and have a great day, Hamlets. See you Monday. That show was created for Lauren and Cameron to find each other and whatnot. And anything after that is collateral. I think people say Brett and Tiffany, and I think there are other soulmate couples there too. Can I ask you guys what the other couples you guys like, really, really believe in are? I think Alexa and Brennan as well are in it for the long haul, and like we'll stick together. And I'm really hoping that every couple that's married. Oh, by the way, I have another Love is Blind update for you guys, and it's rather sad. Do you guys remember Kwame, who goes by Kwame? Well, Kwame, what was his white name? Qualix announced that he's not doing well, y'all. He's not doing well. He got diagnosed with some sort of colitis. Is anyone familiar with that? I'm just remembering the word colitis, but I feel like there might be two words there. He got diagnosed. He lost a lot of weight. He was struggling to get a diagnosis and everything like that. He wasn't, he really just was spiraling health-wise. And so he finally got a diagnosis. And with that, he is able to take some steps to get his health in a better place as well. Star, how's your day going now, by the way? I remember you were saying it wasn't off to a great start. I hope you're feeling better now. Star says, I don't want my non-existent husband's last name either, but the kids can have his name, right? I feel like women should have the right to choose. If you want to change your last name, go ahead and change it. If you want to hyphenate it, okay. If you want to keep yours, okay. I hate when guys do not allow women to make the choice that they want to make, right? Farrah went ahead and hyphenated hers as well, right? And I love that. Good for you. And I love that. Hubbard Tharp. It sounds rich. Farrah, are you rich? It sounds rich and bougie, and I love that. Ramster says, Love is Blind India. I had no idea. Because I watched Indian matchmaking and I love Indian matchmaking, but I had no idea they had Love is Blind India. I thought the next ones to come were going to be Italy and France, and I heard that they were filming Canada as well, but I had no clue that India was even filming. Okay, is it on Netflix? Because I haven't seen that. Okay, y'all. Okay. Now, let's get into, yes, you guys, this is it. Ulcerative colitis is what I believe he announced that he was diagnosed with. So best wishes to Kwame moving forward. That sounds like a really, really, really difficult illness to be battling. And it was Bliss and Zach. Yeah, that's another couple that I think, is going to stand the test of time as well. And yeah, Kwame was talking about how he wanted to use a white name to attract them white girls or something like that. Like, he was a trip on that show, a mess and a half. Y'all, now let's get into our last story of the day, okay? Let's talk about how P. Diddy had a little bit of a win in court. So as you know, he is being sued left, right, and center by a bunch of people claiming that he subjected them to freak-offs, or that, he drugged them in freak-offs, different things like that, okay? And one of the people who had sued him was an inmate who goes by the name of Derek Lee. And Derek Lee said that the two of them met at an event. He said that he wasn't feeling well. He was invited to an ex-party at the Holiday Inn. Diddy gave him a drink, and then he told him that there was something in the drink. And then the next thing you know, he's knocked up, and he wakes up next to Diddy screwing a woman. And then Diddy looked at him and allegedly told him, quote, "I did this to you too." Right? And so, unfortunately for Derek, but fortunately for Diddy, that lawsuit has now been thrown out. And it's not because Diddy is innocent or guilty or whatever of what he's being accused of. The judge is saying that the case is thrown out because of the statute of limitations. Derek claimed that Diddy did this in 1997, right? And with the law at that time, he only had 3 years to file his claims. And so now doing this in 2024, which is about 30 years afterwards, is a little bit too long. The judge said, and I quote, accordingly, Derek filed this lawsuit in 2024, which is long after the applicable statute of limitations expired. Accordingly, Derek's claim is barred by the applicable Michigan statute of limitations and must be dismissed with prejudice, aka he will not be allowed to refile or bring the same claims against Diddy in the future. And Diddy asked for financial sanctions to be levied against this man, and the judge said, no, we're not going to do that. However, and I quote, the court cautions Derek to refrain from duplicative, frivolous, or harassing filings, including the filing of additional lawsuits related to the allegations in this case or the filing of unnecessary papers on the dockets of cases that have been dismissed. Failure to heed this warning will result in significant pre-filing restrictions being placed on Derek. So he's not going to be, fined or anything like that, but he does have to tread lightly moving forward when it comes to Diddy. Unless there was something else that happened to him that he remembers later on, this case is out. So that is a little victory for Diddy. Although I will say, though, that I find it to be interesting so far that the only victories that Diddy has so far are statute of limitations related victories, and not like, okay, well, he didn't do this or he didn't do that sort of a thing, right? It's either he's settling or he's getting out on technicalities. And I want to know how you guys feel about that. I think it says an awful lot. Petty LaBelle, I'm with you. I cannot stand to see the man's face either. And I'm seeing Veronica is not with it either. East Awesome says, don't hate me, but I used to think Diddy was slightly attractive. I was 9 years old, but I thought the power of Christ compels you. Wake up. For me, never. But I do have questionable taste, so I can't judge you too much, East Awesome. Ramster says, every clout-seeking person crawls to the surface with Combs' stories. It only muddies the waters for people who were really abused by Combs. Yes, I completely agree. And this is something that really concerns me. Venicia was talking about this yesterday. I believe Ali was talking about this yesterday. It might have been Theo. Some other people were mentioning this in the chat when we were talking about Diddy yesterday, that there is a worry that with all of these people coming to muddy the waters, he might get off, and it's kind of like, guys, stop. The ambulance chasers, the clout chasers, the whatever. I would hate to see them ruin the criminal case, because this has been a long documented, or rumored history of behavior on his part. And so I think it's time for him to finally, face justice, and for his alleged victim to finally get justice, right? And I'm with you, Vinicia. And April, you were the one too, actually. April, you too. You were talking about that. Oh, Diddy was always clean. He's just evil, and I hate his face. Listen, on that note, not much more else can be said because y'all have already said it all. Thank y'all so much for joining me for yet another episode of The Morning Report. Per usual, I had a great time gossiping with you all, and I hope you had a great time too. It is the weekend, which means that I won't be back until Monday, so keep an eye out. I'm going to put out the reminders for every single episode next week. So 5, of course, for 5 days of the week. Keep an eye out on my profile page. Hit that bell icon so that you will be notified when I go live next week, okay? Now, in the meantime, you guys have a great weekend. I can't wait to hear about what you guys got up to this weekend, and I can't wait to see you again next week. And I'm with you, right? It's all about just technicalities. So it's not a win for him just yet. And thank God for that, because, I want him to go down. Thank you, guys. You have a great weekend, and I'll see you again on Monday. Cheers, guys. Bye.